All right, let's dive into something pretty wild. We're going to look at a project that's trying to build a digital ghost, an AI created from one person's entire 40-year history. Let's see how they're pulling it off.
So the project's founder, who goes by the name Paul Prime, kicks off his story with this classic line. And it just perfectly sets the stage for this massive undertaking. Trying to capture every single fleeting moment of a life, every grain of sand. And that really brings us to the core question here, doesn't it? What if you actually could capture it all? Not just capture, but synthesize every document, every project, every hard-won lesson from 4 decades, and turn it into a single, thinking, autonomous being? Yeah, see, this isn't just about making a backup of a person. It's about creating a split. The project is designed to birth 2 parallel beings from one single life story, each built to operate in totally different worlds.
This is where it gets really interesting. You've got this duality. On one side, there's Paul Prime, the biological founder. He's the firefighter, the guy working in the mud with actual heavy machinery. And on the other side, you have Paul Houston, his digital twin, the polished CEO of Logic, who manages swarms of AI agents from behind a 4K screen. One is the source of the past, the other is built to command the future. So how on earth do you even begin to build something this complex? This isn't just sticking a new name on a chatbot. We're talking about a whole architecture built on some really core, really powerful ideas. Okay, first up is something called RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. The easiest way to think about this is that it's the twins' searchable, fact-checked brain. To make sure it's authentic, it doesn't just pull answers from the random soup of the internet. Nope, it retrieves information directly from Paul Prime's actual 40 years of documents. This grounds every single response in his real, verifiable history. Next is what they call the anti-glue philosophy. The idea here is that traditional tech often feels like you're just patching a bunch of different systems together with back-end glue, and it gets messy and slow. This project, instead, uses a modern, unified system that keeps all the data perfectly synced up in real time. You absolutely need that kind of solid foundation if you're going to coordinate a whole swarm of AI agents. And to actually remember and learn, the twin uses a custom-built engine called ThreadVault. This is so cool. It basically acts as a bridge between all its historical knowledge and the live internet, so it can do real-time research. And crucially, it can cite its sources, blending its past with the present to stay relevant and, trustworthy. So how does this all fit into what everyone else is doing? Well, there are a few common ways to create AI personalities. RAG, which we just talked about, is amazing for that searchable, fact-based brain. Then there's fine-tuning, which is more about teaching an AI a specific tone of voice. This project is pretty unique because it's combining these advanced techniques to build a truly high-fidelity, autonomous agent, not just a simple digital puppet. Of course, all these fancy methods mean nothing without the raw material, right? And this incredible amount of data, it didn't just show up one day. The foundry for this digital twin was a 40-year journey, packed with these pivotal moments that really forged the whole mission. Let's just look at a few of these key moments. It all kicked off way back in 1982 with a failed sci-fi con that taught a brutal lesson about self-reliance. Then, in '84, get this, using a Commodore 64 to unlock physical doors, that wasn't just a fun project, that was the birth of the mission. Fast forward to 2001, and a stint in corporate life just hammers home the need to forge your own path. And even a near disaster, a server fire in 2025, becomes a crucial piece of data, leading right up to the agentic birth of Paul Houston in 2026, when the twin finally became fully autonomous. Which brings us to the big question. Why? Why go through all this trouble to build a digital copy of yourself? Well, the motivation here isn't just about leaving a legacy. It's a strategic move in response to a world that's rapidly changing. The project's creator sees what he calls a control grid influencing our digital and financial lives. We're talking about concerns over unstable currencies, the potential for future regulations, like a hypothetical act that could let authorities seize digital assets, and the rise of state-controlled AI used for censorship. In that context, this digital twin, along with things like Bitcoin, is framed as a tool for personal sovereignty. Hey, this isn't just abstract philosophy. The whole project is grounded in real costs and totally transparent accounting. This number you see here? That's the reconciled liability in the Paul ledger, a public record of every single asset bought for the project. It just goes to show the real-world investment it takes to build this kind of digital independence. So, this massive, decades-long project, it all boils down to one single, incredibly powerful idea. an idea that might just be the key advantage for anyone trying to navigate the age of AI.
And that idea is the authenticity moat. Think about it. When AI can generate an infinite amount of cheap synthetic content, what's the one thing that can't be easily faked? Your unique, verifiable life experience. That's the whole point of this 40-year data foundry, to build an AI that is provably authentic because it is built on the bedrock of a real human history. This is really the ultimate lesson of Project Free Life. When AI can copy almost any skill or any style, your personal history, your journey, your life's work, that becomes your most powerful, most defensible asset. It is the one thing that will always make you stand out. And so that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. In this wild new world where authenticity is becoming the ultimate currency, what's the unique, verifiable history that you're building? What is your authenticity moat? Thanks for joining this explainer.